Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? This is KQKC Boxing. Boy, last night was going on. I loved it. The main event, Adrian Broner versus Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas came to fight. He was on point last night. He worked real hard for that fight. Coming from old school to new school, he was able to make the changes from fighting Pacquiao to fighting Adrian Broner. He made the adjustments and he won the first 4 or 5 rounds. Now, with that said, in the middle of the fight, it was like he was tiring out, running out of gas. Then that's when Adrian Broner let his hands go. Because I'm going to tell you, the last 2 or 3 fights, Adrian Broner wasn't letting that shit go. But he was last night. See, you have to understand, Adrian Broner, he's coming from an A-level fighter to a B-level fighter, and he's supposed to be taking over boxing. That's not going to happen when you have a draw and a couple losses in a row, because a draw means nobody didn't win. That means your ass didn't win. So, with that said, that was the highlight of the night, though. The highlight also came in the pre-fight walk-in. Adrian Broner, flashy, always want to be a rapper, and so on and so on. But Jessie Vargas, old school cat, as you notice, the commentators notice, the trunks. Adrian had on the flashy, the can man, and Jessie had on the old school Muhammad Ali type shorts. So, but Jessie wasn't going to get punked out. Jessie wasn't going for it last night. Hey, you hit me with it right? Huh? Jessie didn't do nothing but smile. I know you can hit harder than that. Now, Jessie Vargas is not a hitter. He's a technician. And when you're a technician, you get your shots in, but you can't sit down on your shots, because you get them in and then you get out. Adrian Broner tried to walk him down, and guess what? Jessie Vargas wasn't letting him push him back. So every time Adrian Broner come in with the earmuffs, we all know these are earmuffs, like this. Then you know that, hey, I'm intimidating you. I'm gonna let you know that, hey, I'm coming to beat your ass. You know what Jessie did? Tagged him with that jab, established distance, and kept him at bay. So that was a pretty good fight, but that wasn't the greatest showing for Adrian Broner. He's just not that guy for 2018. Now, Earl Spence, Crawford, Garcia, those are the top echelon of the welterweight division. Adrian Broner fights at his best at 140. That's my opinion. Some say he's pretty good at 147. He's been champ in both divisions. But he's faster, and he let his hands go at 140. 147, you're dealing with the bigger guys. Guys that you cannot trade with. Look at Marcos Maidana. He was kicked out last night because his friend spit on someone else. Now, Marcos Maidana, I think Adrian Broner should take a book out of his page. He had one big fight with Floyd Mayweather, made millions of dollars, and say, hey, I'm through. I'm out of here. I'm going back. I'm not picking up no more boxing gloves. I'm set for life for my family. So he took the money and ran. Hey, I can't blame him. Because the more money you make, the more you're going to spend. Now, getting to the other co-main events, the two co-main events, Okay. Jamaal Charlo did his thing. Of course, I knew he would. Because he's a boxer and puncher. He's a technician and a brawler. He can get in that phone booth and fight up close without a problem. And he showed that last night that he got power. You know, he fights tall. He sit down on his punches. He sit down on his jabs. And he will hit you with a body shot that will put you down. So there's not too much I can say about that fight. That fight was pretty much what I expected. But when you're the most avoided fighter in that division, it's hard to find someone to fight that's your caliber. Remember, the best should fight the best. And right now, you can't put a B-level fighter with an A-level fighter. They're just not at that level, at that stage. And likes action that intimidates them. Take Javonte Davis, the other co-main event. When he fought for the title, that was his first time on a stage like that. Okay, he responded. He responded well. He knocked out Pedraza like it wasn't no problem. And last night, he knocked out Jesus Quasar like it wasn't no problem. It wasn't a knockout. It was a body shot out. That's what I call it. That's right. It was a body shot knocked out. I saw it coming the first 2 rounds. I seen Tank working on that uppercut towards the body. Kept missing, or he hit it, but it wouldn't been sitting down on the punch. Then he started using his speed, and he started using angles, and that's all she wrote. He popped him one good time in the liver, put Jesus down on his knees. Then he came back and did the same shit again. Jesus Quasar, what he did not cover up. Fighters, I hate to keep mentioning Money Mayweather, but you have to learn how to block your body with your elbows, your lower arm right here. You have to learn how to guard and hold it down. So when Jesus got hit with that first one, set him down, he recuperated. Then he fought like he was intimidated by Davis. And Davis, I knew he knew that it just was a matter of time before he regained his championship back, because he saw how Jesus Quasar came out there in the next round. He fought intimidated. Now, let's remember, Quasar always was a come forward fighter. He always stepped to you like Leo Santa Cruz. But last night, Tank backed him up. Now, it's a 10-year difference between both men. So the younger, shorter, hungrier Tank Davis backed up Jesus Quasar, who's almost at the end of his rope. He backed him up, and he popped him with another shot to the body. This time it was on the side of the ribs, and that put him down. And that's pretty much all she wrote. And Tank, again, was champion at 135. Now, is he ready for Lomo? I don't think so. Lomachenko used angles faster, quicker hands, think fast on his feet, but they praise him over there at HBO. It's going to be hard to make that fight because you got two separate networks. Tank Davis fights for Showtime/CBS, and Lomachenko fights for HBO. So it's hard to make that fight happen, but it's not impossible because fights in the past have been made by two separate networks. Just Pacquiao and Mayweather. You know, you get the logistics out the way. You know, you pick your commentators. I believe they allow two from each network, and they negotiate that. They negotiate the fighters. They negotiate the venue. And you know who Tank advisor is? Al Heyman. The one Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, tried to sue because he believed he was monopolizing the boxing world. Well, he won that fight, and he pretty much won every fight. Floyd Mayweather called him his second father. He convinces Floyd to retire and leave it alone. So everything Al Heyman touches turns to gold. He has the largest stable of fighters in this country. So top rank, Bob Arum, Pacquiao used to be promoter. Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, PED, Canelo Alvarez, the one that said that he ate some meat and that's why he dropped dirty. Come on. Really? He was in Mexico, where he's from. But he didn't know VADA, the anti-doping agent, that when you have a fight or all during the year, they can come and drop you at any time. But they caught Canelo off guard, I believe. Why? Because he was in Mexico. He thought they weren't going to come over there. Mexico is just a hop, skip, and a jump from San Diego. And they came. And he dropped dirty. Now, the WBC went a little light on him. They only gave him a 6-month suspension. No fine. But they can't stand behind Deontay Wilder. They won't stand behind no other fighters. But we're here to talk about the fight. The fights from last night. Now, before I go, I had to have one thing to say now. KQKC Boxing love his Latino brothers and sisters. And it was very, very disrespectful for Adrian Broner in the post-fight interview to say that, hell, look at all these Mexicans. They eating chicken and rice. I want to fight in my hometown where my people are drinking cognac. I mean, come on. Is that ignorant or what? Is that professional or what? Leonard Allaby, CEO of Mayweather Promotion, once said, you don't want to burn no bridges in this business because it is a business. It's a business for boxing. The money got to be right. You take your contract to your lawyer, let him say what's wrong, what's right, what's wrong, what's right. It's a business first. And Adrian Broner is slowly inching his way out of the ring for good. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a good fighter when he let his hands go. which he didn't do last night. If he would have let his hands go last night, it probably would have been a different story because it was a close fight. Very close. I had it 114-114. Steve Farhood, the unofficial scorekeeper for Showtime, he had it 114-114. Now, if Adrian Broner would have let his hands go earlier, he wouldn't have had to fight so hard in the 12th round, where the judge had the 12th round split. Vargas and Broner went to two of the judges. The third judge had Broner, but it didn't matter. Why? Because Vargas backed the early rounds to pretty much even it out. Broner, he always go for it towards the end of the fight now. I have to give him credit for that. He goes for it. He might get knocked out, but he goes for it. But he never get knocked out. Only by Madonna, and he didn't get knocked out. He got back up. But most fighters go for it when they know they're behind and they get knocked out trying to go for it. So, with that said, KQKC do not condone what Adrian Broner did last night. Jim Gray, I know he wants to say what's on his mind, but he kept it professional. And Jessie Vargas, very nice young man. He kept it real too. He didn't let him push him around. He fought. So, with that said, KQKC Boxing will be making more videos to come. So please subscribe to my channel. Ring that bell. And I'll see you again on the next one. Thank you and have a great, great Sunday.